Cherry Abramson has pledged to become very, very active in economic development, and it's certainly good to have a real advocate working up there in Frankfort for us. As he said, the mayor was called out today, couldn't be here. He had to work in Lexington, but John Thomas has agreed to speak in his place, and John Thomas is our city manager. John?
So I can see what I'm about to say. Today, you'll be blessed. I lost the other 28 pages of my speech, so I'll limit it to about 15 or 20 seconds. On behalf of the City of Lebanon, we welcome Lieutenant Governor Abramson, Mr. Botner from Wilbert Plastics, Tony Wilder from the Department for Local Government, and the staff that is here with him from Frankfort. On behalf of Mayor Crenshaw and the Lebanon City Council, I would like to welcome you to Lebanon. We're very excited about this expansion and look forward to a continued strong working relationship with Wilbert Plastic, their vendors, the state, and all of those who make this operation an integral part of this community. We are fortunate indeed in these economic times that companies are choosing to expand and invest in our local economy. It is our hope, and I'm sure it is Mr. Botner's hope, that this is the beginning of a long and profitable relationship with Ford. Again, thank you for locating in our community and investing in our families.
Thank you, John. Now I'd like to introduce our County Judge Executive, John B. Manley. And John, on behalf of the county.
Thanks, Tom. Actually, I think John found my speech. So anyway, I didn't have a full-blown speech and don't intend to carry too many more minutes of your time. You know, as county judge for the last 5 years, it's been all gloom and doom and economic catastrophe, you know, nationwide. And the more I look around our community, the more I appreciate and think how fortunate and how blessed we are in this community. It's due to a lot of partnerships. Most of it has to do with you, the employees here, and people who notice, like Chief Executive Greg Botner and Mr. The whole contingency that came with Wilbert today, Mr. Bill Cave, and I know that there's a whole entourage of Wilbert supporters here, and we really want to welcome you to Marion County. And you know, these expansions and maintaining jobs, just stabilizing a plant, you know, when you look around the rest of the country and the catastrophic effects of a plant closing, you know, even in Springfield or Danville or adjacent counties, you know, our unemployment rate here in Marion County is still fairly high. That's because people who work out of the county come back home and make their unemployment claims here. So, you know, we have some more willing, capable, and able potential employees who have maybe come home to find opportunities. I certainly hope that they can do that here in these expansions. You know, the partnerships that we have here in this county, the city and the county working together, and the fact that the governor and his office and staff, Tony Wilder, have always had an ear and looked at the opportunities and a way to make those things happen. Tom Lund, economic development folks here, and you know, we know that you all need that stability, and we try to make that happen. So certainly appreciate all the workers here at Wilbert and their quality achievements, and definitely thank the Ford company for looking our way and making this new opportunity happen. So thank you all, and thanks to all the folks that worked so hard to make this day possible.
Thank you, Judge. I'd like to introduce your President and CEO at this time. Greg has told us before he was born in Detroit and he got automotive in his blood. And so I think he's a good addition to Kentucky. I'm certainly proud to have him down in North Carolina. But Greg owned a couple of plastic injection molding companies before he joined Wilbert Plastics. He owned a company up in Michigan, and he owned a company in Texas. And he joined Wilbert Custom Plastics in 2004, and then became its president and CEO in 2008. At this time, I'd like to introduce your president and CEO, Greg Butner. Greg.
Thank you, Tom. First of all, born and raised in Detroit, but as I was explaining to somebody earlier this evening, my roots are right here in Kentucky. My mother and father are both from Kentucky, and so this is a kind of a homecoming in some sort of way. And of course, with the being born and raised in Detroit, working in the automotive industry, that's in my blood. So I get excited when I see this wonderful new vehicle over here that we're going to get to participate on in the coming months. Today is a day of celebration for us here at Wilbert, and probably not as well appreciated by many of our visitors here today. Today really is our Q1 celebration. And for those of you who may not be familiar with what that is, that's a very rigorous and in-depth process that you go through to qualify yourselves to be capable to be a supplier to a company such as Ford. And it's probably about the highest quality and operational ranking that you can get in the automotive industry. And today is our celebration of that. That's been 2 years of hard work by a lot of committed people here in Lebanon. The story here today is a story about commitment. We as a company being committed to what we do here in the United States and to creating jobs and finding opportunities and creating jobs here in the United States. But it's a commitment by a company, it's a commitment of a workforce, and it's a commitment of a community. And that's really what we're talking about today. We didn't know quite what the future of this plant was 3 years ago. And today we have a bright, prosperous future. At some point in time in the future, we not only have the C520 program that's going to launch, but also the Ford Transit van will be behind it, where we'll be shipping interior product to St. Louis. And at some point in time, we'll be up to somewhere between 300 and 400 employees at this site. We, as an organization, have committed over $10 million in investment to retooling and revamping this plant in preparation for the launch of the C520 program. We commit that kind of money, and backed by our lenders and backed partially by the state of Kentucky. We commit that kind of money, and we feel confident in doing that because of the employees here. That's really what it's all about. Business is based on people. It's easy to build buildings, and it's easy to stuff them full of machines. But our confidence lies in the people that are here at Lebanon and the fact that we could get this done going forward. I'd like to take a moment and I must acknowledge some individuals who contributed so heavily to this. There are a lot of people across our company that had a part in one way or another, but there are certain players, or the boots on the ground as we refer to it, the people that actually make it happen, are tasked with making it happen, and I want to acknowledge them here today. It's not a real long list, so everybody can be patient. I lost my other 28 pages as well before I stepped up here. But these people need to be acknowledged. I'd appreciate it if you'd stand and remain standing until I've read off all the names. Bert Seacrest, here from Lebanon. Quentin Spears, and you can hold your applause until I get to the list read, please. Quentin Spears, Roy Pelagi, Chris Bradshaw, Helen Costello, Lisa Keeling, Marty Pruitt, James Sabins, Jason Jordan, Kevin Rising. These are the Wilbert employees that make this happen on a day in and day out basis. I want to thank the Ford representatives that are here as well. especially James Brown and Mark Rousing, who have been with us step in step as we've marched down this path of Q1 certification. And without the Q1 certification, we don't make parts. We can have buildings and machines, but without that, we don't make parts. And I want to publicly acknowledge each and every one of you, your contribution, your ongoing contribution in making this successful. Thank you. With that, I'm going to keep my talk brief here, but this is a story, again, as I mentioned before, of commitment, obvious focus by a management team, but it's a success story for Wilbert Plastic Services. In a time of recession and economic turmoil, in a time that you can't go home and turn on the TV with it and get any good news to speak of, we're a company that will, from 2010 through 2013, we will double our size. And we're in an industry that barely grows at the rate of GDP. So it's a testimony to all of you that are here today. I'm going to trust that you're going to carry this forward and make a whole lot of good parts for Ford Motor Company. And we're going to give you all the backing we can and appreciate the hard work that you do every day. So thank you very much, and good fortune and good success, ongoing success to all of us here. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Greg. I also have Mark Rouser on the itinerary. Mark Rouser of the Ford Motor Company, and Jimmy Brown. Jimmy, did you want to say a word?
Mark Rouser. Thank you. Wow, what a turnout. What do you think of the vehicle? Great, huh? So that's one of the earlier built vehicles, so don't look at it too close. There's some blemishes on it, but rest assured they've all been fixed, so it's going to be a real win for us. I think we've raised the yearly capacity on that 3 times in the last year and a half or so. So it's going to be a fantastic product for us, and I'm glad you're all a part of it. So heard Greg recognizing all the salary staff, but I tell you, you can't get Q1 without all the blue shirts and the people out on the floor here executing those processes. So congratulations and great job to all of you. Give you all a big hand. So I'd like to keep this short, and I'm going to turn it over to